Hello, my mama friends. Today I have a special guest, fellow podcaster, Michelle Castro. Michelle is a wife and mama to 3 beautiful girls and is from Los Angeles, California. She's the host of a podcast for Christian entrepreneurs titled Growth Against the Grain. I just love that title. Michelle specializes in helping women in the network marketing space show up as the unique unicorn God made them to be, niching in, avoiding the copy-paste culture, I'm with you, girl, and leaning into who they are and the value they have to offer through strategy, mindset, and some healthy living for good measure. Michelle loves the network marketing direct sales space and believes that women can grow an audacious business without looking like everyone else or being connected 24/7 while being present for those she loves most and honoring the Lord in the process. In today's episode, she will be sharing with us her expertise on discovering your dream client and how to tap into her needs and desires to help grow an authentic and profitable business you love. So lean on in and take some notes as she drops some wisdom in simplifying the why, who, and how basic foundation of growing your unique and meaningful circle of influence in your business. And don't forget that my Fill Your Funnel Lead Generation Masterclass is coming up next week. So be sure to get inside my free community so you don't miss out and so you can enter the giveaway to win a free strategy coaching session and personalized Trello prospecting tracker from me. You can search Facebook for Abundant MomLife for Network Marketers or find the link in the show notes to join. See you on the inside. Welcome to the Abundant Mom Life for Network Marketers show, where we choose to grow a successful and sustainable business from the crazy caffeine-filled comfort of home using flexible productivity strategies that simplify, optimize, and systemize our business and mom life. Hi, I'm Melodie Bishop, a Jesus-loving boy mom, former teacher, turned top 1% network marketer, turned entrepreneur. I believe you can slay your day without being a slave to the hustle. If you're ready to get your time freedom back and design the life you love, you're in the right place. It's time to rise up, know your worth, and live abundantly. All right. Hello, my mama friends. Today I have a special guest, fellow podcaster Michelle Castro from the Growth Against the Grain podcast. I just love that name, Michelle. It's such a great name. She'll be sharing with us her expertise on discovering your dream client and how to tap into her needs and desires to help grow an authentic and profitable business you love. So welcome, Michelle, and so glad to have you with us today.
Oh my goodness, Melodie, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so glad that we were able to find a time that worked. Yeah. All the stars aligned and here we go. I'm so excited.
Yes. So I know we both share similar audiences and speak to moms in network marketing. So I'm excited for everyone to learn more about you. Can you share a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Yeah. I live in Southern California, and which is like polar opposites. We were chatting before we hopped on, total opposites. I'm cracking up though, because I literally think I'll freeze at 60 degrees, but, I haven't yet. So let's see here. I live in Southern California. I've been married for almost 25 years. Crazy. We have 3 daughters, 18, 15, and 11. They'll all have their birthdays in the next couple weeks. So everyone flips. And I've been in the network marketing space, gosh, for just about 10 years. I think I did about 3 years. And then I was with a company for just about 6 years and then just pivoted last year to a health and wellness company.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been with network marketing for 7 years now, and I recently pivoted as well. So we have that in common too. Nice. So I know that you talk a lot about on your podcast about being authentic. So we're going to dive a little bit into that today. But first, I really love to hear all of my fellow mom bosses in network marketing and their stories, because I know we can learn so much when we kind of hear what someone else shares and see that big picture. So I wanted to ask you, can you share with us a little bit about what your network marketing journey has been like so far?
Sure. Yeah. So I've always been around the network marketing industry. Growing up in the church, I just feel like there's a lot of women who are drawn to that because it gives them that flexibility that we're still looking for, right? And my mom years ago worked with a basket company, Longaberger Baskets. If anyone has a Longaberger basket around there, I could probably recite, the hardwood maple and the whole thing. I would hear her talking about it. And it really did benefit our family in a great way. And so I was always very open to the concept. My dad is an entrepreneur, and let's see, our oldest was, maybe a year old. And I was invited to a jewelry party, and I love jewelry. And I just kind of looked at her and I was like, I could do this. And so I did. And that was for a few years. It was a party, like home-based party type business. And for me personally, I could only sustain that for a little bit of time, gathering my wares and whatnot. But I loved the concept. I loved the business. Just the whole structure of it really makes sense. In my mind, it's really not any different from a franchise business or anything else. It just gives us the flexibility to be home. So fast forward a few years, I'm actually an elementary school teacher by education. And as you have these little kids, they're stinking expensive. And we live in the most expensive states in the country, California. And we got to a point where we were kind of considering having me go back into the classroom. And I'll admit, I love teachers, but the whole idea of going back as a mom of three kind of paralyzed me and petrified me. And through a series of different things, like the Lord just made it very clear that he did not want me going back into the classroom. And this opportunity to be part of a network marketing company that just had some great background, and it just became like yes, this is what I need to do. And so I did, and I built a successful business, rose to the top 2%. And then last year realized that, it's time for me to move on. It's time for me. I no longer aligned so much with that company, but I found something else that really was where I needed to be. And so I made that pivot. And don't you love the pivot? And one thing that I'm on a mission, and I would imagine you are as well, having that experience, is normalizing the pivot. Because how many people within corporate America, get a new job offer and they run with that, and we support that. And so I'm all about like, hey, if that's where you find yourself, like maybe that's a good thing and it's okay. And we are for you on that.
Yes, absolutely. And I didn't know that about you because I am a former elementary teacher as well, a music education teacher. And that's what I spent a large portion of the first half of my adult life doing. And I remember when I had my second child, I was in between jobs. I was also a music director, and they had to let me go because they couldn't afford to pay me any longer. And I was considering going back to teaching too, because you got to pay the bills. And that's when network marketing fell into my lap. And it was really great because it was a way for me to use skills that I had kind of maybe kept dormant or in a different way as I was using them when I was teaching or when I was a performer, and to be able to stay home with my kids, because when my oldest was younger and I was teaching part-time. So I was able to do that. So yes, we're very similar. And I really didn't want to go back to teaching either. I wanted to be able to have a flexible job where I could be home with my kids. That was really important to me. So network marketing, I always say network marketing found me. I didn't really go looking for it. It found me. So it sounds like it's a similar experience.
Completely. I always think it's kind of like, it was exactly what I didn't know I always needed.
Yes.
Like it just kind of like lands and you're like, oh, well, this checks all of the boxes. And it really does. Like if you look back at education, you're educating students, and maybe it's music, maybe it's this, all kinds of different things. I went from teaching to real estate, and real estate is a huge education. It's really educating your clients on, you take their needs and now show them what is best for them based upon those needs. So everything that I've been in, it has been a form of education. And so it's like my college degree is not for naught. Mm-hmm. And all my experience, it's really helped me in this as well.
Yes, I say I'm still teaching, just in a different way.
Completely.
Yeah. And I know with the pivot, many can relate. And I think as creative minded entrepreneurs, I think many of us have that, that urge to pivot, because when you have that unrest in your soul, people say, hey, you should have that regular 9-to-5 job, take, that normal job. People look at you crazy because you decide to get into network marketing or start your own business. But the flip side is either you do something new and you chase after your dreams, or you stay stuck in something that you don't love and you're miserable for the rest of your life. So I don't know.
Yep.
I would rather do the hard and build something that I love than stay stuck and miserable for the rest of my life. So yes, I know that many can relate to that listening, and I know that I relate to that as well. So I know that you speak a lot about who you're speaking to, your avatar, or some people call it your niche, and you like to call them your dream client. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. And I want to ask you, why is it so important to uncover and understand who your dream client is in this business?
Well, that is a great question. And so if everyone could just sit back, we'll take like the next 45 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. Well, let me just be like fully transparent. I love the network marketing space, but in my love for it, we also have to uncover some of the areas maybe that we aren't doing things so well. And this is one of those areas. Yeah. We have a tendency, no matter what you're doing within the network marketing space, whatever your business is, I'm pretty sure you've thought these thoughts. Every single person can benefit from my products. So I'm in health and wellness. There's not a person on this planet who cannot benefit from health and wellness products, right? Mm-hmm. So what we tend to do is think, okay, I want to cast this broad net because everyone from the age of newborn to 105 could use these things. So I want to make sure that I'm talking to everybody because I want all of them. Well, the reality is when we are actually throwing this broad net, we end up actually not talking or connecting with anyone because we've made it so incredibly general. So if you've ever run across a post and you read it and you're like, holy cow, does she have a camera in my house? Like this, she's talking to me. No, she doesn't have a camera in her house. She just happens to realize that you're her dream client and she's speaking directly to you. So about a year and a half ago, it kind of like hit me that I need to understand who I'm talking to because I want to try and talk to everybody, but I'm being unsuccessful. So first, I'm a huge advocate that frustrations first and foremost we have to look inward first and foremost. Like it's kind of like when your kids, they come to you and they're like, he hit me. And you're like, okay, that's great. And we'll deal with that. But what did you do? Like, what was your issue first? Like, what happened there? Maybe you hit him first, like we got to get to that. So the same is like us, we have to look inward first and foremost and say, okay, I'm frustrated because I'm not attracting the clients that I want. But why is that? Oh, well, let's see here. I'm copying Susie's post and expecting it to hit all of my dream clients when they're not the same and we're totally different people. And there's this tendency within network marketing to copy paste. And the concept is great. I so appreciate the concept, but there's this little part in there where you need to make it your own. And making it your own involves this method of who are you talking to? What are their pain points? And how can you reach them? So how can you use that information to reach them? So every company out there has a dream client. A few years back, Starbucks came out with a unicorn frappuccino. Do you remember the unicorn frappuccino? I don't know who their ideal clientele was, but I'm just going to tell you, it was probably my 10-year-old daughter, because every 10-year-old was like, unicorn, sugar, oh, my frappuccino, Starbucks, like it hit all of their buttons. Now, those of us in our 40s and stuff were like, that's disgusting. I don't want that. And that was fine because they weren't talking to us. They were talking to the person it appealed to. So all that to say, if you want to alleviate the frustration that you're having within your business, it's likely that you don't know who you're talking to and you're just trying to cast too broad of a net.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I totally agree. And I heard the phrase and it resonated so much with me as well. When you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. And that's so true. And if we want to have a mission and have purpose and really be obedient to what God is asking us to do in our business, we really have to get down to the nitty-gritty of who he's asking us to serve, so that it becomes not just a hobby or not just a business, but an actual mission, an actual calling. And you can't do that unless you figure out who you're speaking to, who you're called to serve, and who your dream client is. So that is absolutely, absolutely true. I totally agree with you. So
I love what you said. Hold on, let me interrupt really quick. I love what you said about who we're meant to serve, because for you and I both, we've prayed over our businesses. This is not just a way to hawk our wares. You know, that's not what this is. I truly feel that the Lord has called me to this business to help people. And so I want to serve them. And that's absolutely like, I'll serve everybody. But the reality is, like, there's somebody who needs my message and I want to make sure that I'm speaking directly to her. And honestly, it will alleviate that frustration for you. So like, make your job easier. Yes, please.
So true. I mean, we can't serve the whole world, but we can serve our little corner of the world and we can serve them well. So absolutely. So now that we know the why, we need to understand our who. So can you share with us, what that discovery process looks like?
Yeah, here's the thing. It's so much easier than people make it out to be. The reality is you're probably going to have a couple different avatars, but I'm a huge fan of starting small, like keep it super simple. And your dream client is more than likely you a day, a week, a month, a year ago. And so what do I mean by that? So again, I'm in the health and wellness space. There's something that drew me to this space, whether it's the business or the products. I happen to, let's products, because most people are super comfortable selling their products. So there's something that drew me to the products. Well, first I need to understand, who am I? So I'm a woman, I'm a mom, I'm married, I'm in my 40s, menopausal. And so figuring out who you are, start with the basic demographics, like your age, you're married. What do you like your basic likes and dislikes, because there's other people out there just like you. And there's other people that are going to be drawn to you. Does that mean that they like their coffee with 2 tablespoons of, coffee mate creamer? Well, not necessarily, but it's the overall broad brushstrokes that you're going to identify with her and she's going to identify with you. If you're a female, your dream client could be a guy, totally fine. But I just encourage you to start super small and start with yourself and figure out who you are. And then the next thing is you take that even deeper. So knowing who you are and then who this person is. So for example, my dream client, her name is Julie. I named her Julie because that was what my parents were going to call me before I was born. And so I was like, well, that's perfect because basically she's me. So that's who my dream client is. But that's only a part of the equation. Understanding that is super important, but even more important and kind of like that secret sauce is understanding what her pain points are. So you can know who she is and you can talk to her all the time, but really it's our job. If we go back to educating, it's our job to solve her problem, right? So in my particular case, my frustration and what drew me to my products was that I was in this state of basically a dead metabolism. Like it had died. I didn't have a funeral for it because I didn't realize it was dead. And so I was like, I need to do something. If you are in menopause at any stage, you understand that like you could eat carrots all day, every day and gain 5 pounds. It's just so delightful. And so I was just so incredibly frustrated. Well, here's the deal. Like, you're not the only frustrated person out there. So now speak to that. Like, if you find something, whether you find something on Amazon or Target or your, wherever, don't you share it with people? Well, yeah, we just had overhead garage storage put in our garage. Like, I basically should be an affiliate for this company because I love it so much. It's the same type of thing. Like, you find something that works, you want everyone to know about it. If I can alleviate their frustration of having clutter all over their garage, like, I want to do that. So the same thing, if I can help somebody not be so frustrated by how they feel and feeling, just all the issues that come with that, then absolutely. So I want to speak to her. And when I say those words of, not feeling so like gross in their gut, or, just kind of some of those trigger words like dead metabolism. Are you kidding? Like, I get people that perk up. They're like, wait, what? You found something for your metabolism? So when you can not only just know who she is, but what her pain points are, holy cow, girl, like you've unlocked the holy grail.
Yes. Yes, so good. And we love to keep it simple over here. And that's so true because everybody has different pain points. Not everyone has the same. So knowing your dream client and then breaking that down, because we love to break it down here too. We love a step-by-step process to really uncover what those pain points are. And as you mentioned before, most of the time your dream client is you a year ago or even a few months ago. So you're just kind of walking her through where you were and how you got to where you are now and helping her have that transformation process and serving and solving for her. And we overcomplicate it, but that's really all it is. And just mastering that can totally transform your business and give people the breakthroughs that they deserve using the products that you fell in love with.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you take who this person is, what their pain points are, and how your products or your business can solve those problems. Like, friend, I know I'm like the queen of making 3 steps into like 45 just for the heck of it because it's Tuesday. Like, why not? Let's do this. But no, it really is just so simple. Who is she? What are her pain points? What are her frustrations? Why is she struggling? And how do you solve that problem, whether it's your products or your business?
Good. I hope you guys write those questions down.
Write them down. Who is she? Who is your dream client? Like what are her demographics? Who are you? Start with yourself. What are the pain points? So think back to your product. And here's the struggle is you probably have a lot of products. So find one product that's your hero product within your product line. And what is it that drew you to that product? And then how does that product solve your problem or solve their problem? And here's what's really cool. If you have a great website, more than likely you can go straight to your website and be like, oh, it inhibits fat storage. It gives me more energy. It I'm not asking you to like make things up. Like it's all right there. That's all you need right there.
Yeah. So true. All right. So I know that one of the struggles that we face in this industry is the pressure to create content all the time. So can you, explain how understanding your dream client can help you create meaningful content for your business?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I would love to say that I have mastered this and I never have any struggles with it. And no, not the case at all. If you're watching this, as she puts it on the Facebook group, I have all these sticky notes on my mirror over here. And so that's one way that I have found that helps me. And I just kind of put like 1 or 2 words on each of those. Here is the beauty. If you walk away with anything aside from who you're talking to, what their pain points are, and how your products can really solve their problems, I want you to think about this. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you. And I say that with all the love in the world to help you like relieve yourself of this pressure that everything has to be so perfect. It doesn't, it can't be. And if it is, it means you've probably spent way too much time overthinking it. Put it out there, speak to who your dream client is. I have another I love sticky notes. I should buy stock in sticky. I have another sticky note up here and it says, what's in it for them? So remembering like, what is it in it for them? And people have to hear the same thing like 5 to 12 times before they ever take action. So that means that you can totally regurgitate information over and over again. Go look at content that you did in December and look at the spirit of what that was and maybe tweak it just a little bit, say it in a different way. Because here's the thing, you could even take content that you did last month and do it today, but you're a month older person. You have a month more of experience. You're going to look at that and tweak it in a little bit of a different way. So figuring out who this person is, think of like one product and talk about how this product solves her problem without, like, I want to make sure that we understand too, without all of your posts being, buy this, buy this, buy this. That's not what we're talking about. People don't want to be sold to all the time. But just using that information and creating content that solves their problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't worry, I think your sticky notes are great. You got to do what works best for you. Everyone has their own systems, but yeah, I mean, when you're creating content, you can repurpose and, there's a time and a place to repurpose. You don't want to be doing that all the time, but you can look back and see, hey, what worked really well? What can I add to it? How can I say this in a different way? And that just simplifies your content creation process. And if you're talking about social media, we all know that even though you might have posted something and then you post it again the next 3 months, you are going to have a whole different group of people, most likely, who actually see it. So don't be afraid to, tweak, and as you learn new things, add stuff to it, and just be able to share that content and build on what is working best and what's getting the most engagement for you. I also love adding a question into the group. And basically, I just ask them what their biggest struggle is with whatever your niche is struggling with, whatever you focus on with serving your audience. And that gives me a whole ton of content that I can use that way too. I just basically use their answers and create content off of that too. So yes, it does. Once again, doesn't have to be complicated. You can totally just make it simple. So I love to ask all of my work at home mom bosses this question. Those who, most of my guests are work at home mom bosses. In fact, I think all of them have been so far. So as a work at home mom boss, what is one abundance tip or piece of advice that you can offer our listeners?
Ooh, that's a really great question. And I bet everyone takes it and goes in like several different directions.
Yeah, I love to hear all the different answers.
Yeah. I bet. You know what? I think one thing I would say is that there's room for everybody. There's absolutely room for everybody. I came from a company that really had a very lack of abundance mindset, and I didn't realize it until I left. And I come here and we're just kind of like, yeah, everyone can win. Everyone has the opportunity. And that's great. You knew this person too, but she enrolled with somebody else. Okay, that's great. Like let's just pool all of our efforts together just to be better, as a group. So definitely having this abundant mindset of everybody can win. There's products out there for everybody. Mm-hmm. And, network marketing has some of the best products out there. Really, we really do. And so, support your fellow network marketers, social sellers as well.
Yes, there really is. We can be better together. And, if you're thinking of your business, like you were mentioning before, about how you're not speaking to everyone, you're speaking to your circle of influence that you're supposed to serve, then there really shouldn't be any competition anyway, because you all should be speaking to somebody different, and you're all going to be attracting different people who resonate with your message and how you're serving your audience. So there is no need for competition anyway, right?
No, not at all. And here's what I teach too. So I have a course called Niche into Success for network marketers. And one thing that I teach in there, aside from the, when you're trying to speak to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. When you do niche in and get so super specific, here's the beauty of it. it doesn't eliminate the opportunity or the potential for you to speak to people outside of your dream client. Because here's what happens is you start showing up for her. So I start showing up for Julie, and it becomes so authentic and attractive that maybe you're a guy in his 20s, and yet somehow there's something that I can say that is attractive to you, where you're like, ooh, I like the authority that she has in her product. She knows her stuff. So you're not going to, eliminate the opportunity or the potential for you to reach somebody outside of your niche. You're just going to be so laser focused on who you're talking to. And you're going to create a community of people that get it. Mm-hmm. They understand you. And that's so sweet. So fun.
That's key. The whole getting it part. And God will bring you the right people into your business,
totally,
who you're meant to serve.
Amen. Amen.
All right. So I know that my listeners have fallen in love with you. So how can they find you? Where can they go find you and follow you?
Well, you're so sweet. Oh my goodness. This has been so much fun. I hang out over on Instagram at Hey, it's Michelle Castro with 2 L's, Michelle Castro. You can find me over on Facebook, Michelle Castro. I have a Facebook community group. It's, actually, we're just kind of in a transition of changing it names, but I believe the link is bit.ly/network marketing mamas. Mm-hmm. I'll give it to you so you can put it in the show notes. And then I have a course that I created specifically for network marketers to truly niche down. And it's called Niche into Success for Network Marketers. And for your listeners, I'll give you a coupon code. It wasn't letting me create it today, but we'll do Abundant 10 and they can take 10% off of their registration for it. But it walks you through all of that and really helps each person get super specific and understand who their dream client is.
Great. Thank you so much.
And then also on our podcast, you can go check me out on the podcast, Growth Against the Grain. I'm like, all these places. Oh my goodness.
Don't forget the podcast. And yes, I will add all of that to the show notes. And thank you so much for that coupon code. That's awesome. I hope you guys go check that out. So I just want to say thank you again, Michelle. I'm so glad that you're able to be on the podcast today. And I absolutely love having mom bosses like you and us collaborating, using our different gifts and strengths to serve each other's audiences really well. So make sure, guys, that you go follow her in all the places and check out her course as well.
Thank you so much, Melodie. This was such a joy. So much fun.
Thank you for listening to Mommy's show.
Hey, Mama, if you found value in today's show, I'd be truly grateful if you take a few moments to hit that follow or subscribe button and leave an Apple Podcast review. You can even share this podcast with your team, because when we work together, we can empower mamas to claim the abundant life they desire and deserve. Come join our Facebook community at Abundant Mom Life for Network Marketers. Can't wait to get to know you.